Hello, today I'm going to read a book called The Night I Met Father Christmas. The Night I Met Father Christmas by Ben Miller. Chapter 1. When I was small. Chapter 1. When I was small, one of my friends said something really silly. He said that Father Christmas didn't exist. So where do all the Christmas presents come from? I asked him. He didn't have an answer. I don't know, he said. It's just something my older sister told me. Who comes down the chimney and eats the mince pies and drinks the brandy? I asked. Who rides the sleigh? My friend was silent for a while. You know what, he said. You're right. I don't know why I brought this up. Do you want to play marbles? That night, I had trouble getting to sleep. I had won the argument, but my friend had planted a tiny seed of doubt in my mind. What if Father Christmas wasn't real? As Christmas approached, I began to ask myself all sorts of things, of worrying questions. Who was Father Christmas? Why did he bring presents? How did he deliver them all in one night? How did it all start? I made up my mind that there was only one way to find out the truth. I had to meet Father Christmas face to face. Of course, I didn't really tell anyone my plan. My parents would have tried to stop me, and my twin sisters would have wanted to tag along. Even though they were much too young, this was a serious operation, and I could not risk it going wrong. Finally, Christmas Eve arrived, and my parents came up to kiss me goodnight. Do you know what day it is tomorrow? I asked my mother, her eyes twinkling. It's Tuesday. It's Wednesday, I asked, pretending not to care. She looked at my father, who shrugged. Yes, darling, she said, trying to maintain an air of suspense. It is Wednesday, but it's also Christmas Day. Oh, I said, I'm not really interested in Christmas. Really, said my father. They both looked disappointed. And for a very brief moment, I felt bad for tricking them. It's okay, I suppose, I said. If you like presents and chocolate and sweets and things like that, but I prefer to work through a few math problems while I'm listening to classical music. Then I faked a big yawn and closed my eyes. Whatever makes you happy, darling, said my mother, sounding worried. They kissed me goodnight, put off the light, and went downstairs. I lay in the dark with my eyes closed, listening. I could hear my sisters in their bedroom down the hall, taking in their own special made-up language, which only they could understand. Usually, when I heard them talking like that, it made me feel a bit left out, but not tonight, because I knew what I was doing. Something was very special. Eventually, my sisters fell quiet, and the house suddenly seemed very deep and dark. I could hear the slow mumble of my parents talking downstairs, but soon they stopped too. Then the stairs creaked as they made their way up to bed. I knew they might look at me, so I acted if I was fast asleep. Good night, little man, my father whispered. as he gently moved his head back to my pillow and pulled the covers up to keep me warm. Then I smelled my mother's perfume she gave. Then I smelled my mother's perfume as she gave me a kiss. The door closed, and I heard footsteps crossing the landing to the bedroom. I lay asleep, listening to the darkness. After I felt the longest time, I'd decided it was safe enough to open one eye. By my bedside clock showed 11:45. I had never ever been awake that late before. I wondered for a moment if I was stuck when it struck midnight, I would be turned to stone like a child in the fairy tale. I pulled back the covers, swung my feet down on the rug, tiptoed to the window outside. The window ledge was covered in snow. The moon was thin but bright, and our neighbor's garden, a fox picked its way up the white lawn above me. The blue-black sky was scattered with stars and little whips of cloud. Nothing moved, shooting, no satellites, even a trembling planet, and definitely no reindeer-drawn sleigh. I slunk back into my bed, using both pillows together with one cushion from the chair. I made a sort of bed so I could sit up into the open sky. Whatever happened, I wasn't going to sleep. I was going to wait until Father Christmas came. It was the bells I heard first. I had expected jingle bells, like the ones in the song, but these sounded more like elfy cowbells. I ran to the window. The sky was empty. Just as before, way off in the distance, I heard bells stop and start, growing a little louder each time. Little by little, they grew closer, and my excitement mounted. Then finally, when they were the loudest, there was a huge bang, followed by a long grinding and sliding. And then the whole ceiling shook. I'd always thought Father Christmas arrived quietly, but I couldn't have been more wrong. No wonder he has to wait till everyone's fast asleep. A fox picked its way across the white dawn. Quick as a flash, I pulled my dressing gown, slid my feet into the slippers, snatched out my toy rabbit and ran downstairs. Bold as you like, I burst through the sitting room door and rushed to the fireplace. Lumps of soot fell into the cold grate. Father Christmas was coming, or at least he was trying. The soot kept falling, and up the chimney there was a muffled sound of a struggle. Oh! I heard him say, "You'd like one person would clean their chimney on Christmas Eve." But, oh no, there was a shout, followed by a falling nose coming from someone stuck in the chimney nose. There was some wiggling, muttering, and a tiny figure fell off his bed. I had wondered Father Christmas was to be a giant, but a creature in front of me. He had a bit of tummy, though he wasn't what you'd call fat. He wore old-fashioned red velvet, embroidered with green and matching red velvet trousers, a dark brown leather boots, He also had pointy ears, a turned-up nose, and short curly white hair stuffed under his red velvet cap. Suddenly, it struck me. Father Christmas wasn't a person at all. He was an elf. Oh, I shouted back in shock. Shouted Father Christmas and jumped in front, knocking over the fire irons, stumbling backwards and landing flat on the bottom in the fireplace. Ow, he said. My ankle. I think I twisted it. I'm sorry, I said, feeling very guilty. It's my fault for scaring you. Let me help you. I took him by the arm and helped him to his feet. Ouch, he said. I can't put any weight on it. Look. He tried to stand, but it was obviously a lot of pain. He lifted by the armpits and sat on my father's armchair. Hello, he said, trying to compose himself as he took me in a big, bright blue eyes. I am chimney inspector from the council, and I've been told to inspect the chimney. I had a look, and it's fine, so I'm going now. Thank you so much for your help. A chimney inspector, I asked, pointing at a box of Lego was poking out of a sack. Are you sure? He quickly pushed the Lego back inside the sack. That, he said, that's my Lego. Lots of grown-ups do Lego. That's a thing. You can't fool me, I said. I know who you are. You do? Of course, I said, trying to keep my cool. I was after all. In the pressure of a global superstar, everyone does. Your Father Christmas. Every children write a Christmas list for their presents. We'd like to send it to you and the North Pole. If you have a workshop, your elves make it presents. Whoa, he said. They aren't my elves. They're my employees, and they come to my workshop because they want to. Aha, I said. She would clap my hands. So you are Father Christmas, said the elf, looking like he had been caught out. Shall I tell you what else I know about you? I asked. I have a feeling I might, he replied. Well, on Christmas Eve, you load up present on the sleigh. Your nine is Prancer and Dancer, Donner and Blitzen, Comet and Cupid, Dasher and Vixen, plus Rudolph. Pull it through the sky. Go on, he said. And each house you land your sleigh on the roof and climb down the chimney to leave presents by the Christmas tree. You like doing exactly like you're doing now. So you must be Father Christmas. It's possible, he said. It's very possible. In fact, he took a long pause and looked me right in the eye. You're right. And then he smiled. It was like someone had turned up in the sunlight. His eyes twinkled with kindness, and I felt a wave of happiness lift me like a toy boat in a bathtub. All my doubts were gone. Father Christmas was real. He was in my very own. You must be Jackson, he said. Why are you up so late when everyone else is sleeping? I was waiting for you, I said. I want to ask you a really important question. Can I? Shoot, said Father Christmas. Who are you? I asked. And Father Christmas, how did this all start? How did you become Father Christmas? Father Christmas nodded slowly, as if my curiosity ever so slightly impressed him. You want to know why? He smiled. more than anything. Are you super triple sure? Asked Father Christmas. It might be the story you know. No good story is, I said. That's true, said Father Christmas. That's very true. He poked his finger into a pocket of his waistcoat and pulled a silver pocket watch. Well, I am slightly ahead of schedule, I suppose. Once again, he looked at me right in the eye. I suppose, as you've been very good, I could tell quickly. Yes, please, I said. Now, one thing you need to know about me, I have extraordinary memory. I can remember dates and times of every single every single meal I had ever eaten. Cheese sandwich, mustard instead of pickle. 12:30 3 Wednesdays ago, being one such example. And my memory means that when someone tells me something, I can repeat every single word in the order forever. So when I say that this is what Father Christmas told me, well, it is good as him telling me to do it to use himself. Someone tells me something, I can repeat every single word in exact order forever. So when I'm saying this is what Father Christmas told me, well, it's as good as him telling it to you himself. Thank you for listening to my story. See you in next video.